For my presentation, I chose the case Taylor versus Wake Forest University, case study 5.3. In this case, the plaintiff was George Taylor and Greg Taylor. The defendant was Wake Forest University. On December of 1965, football coaches at Wake Forest University began communication with Greg Taylor about enrolling into the university to play football there. On February 1967, Greg Taylor submitted an application entitled Atlantic Coast Conference Application for a Football Grant in Aid or a Scholarship. The application was accepted by Wake Forest on May 24th of 1967. The grant included the following main implications. This grant, if awarded, will be for 4 years provided I conduct myself in accordance with the rules of the conference, the NCAA, and the institution. I agree to maintain eligibility for intercollegiate athletics under both conference and institutional rules, and, if injured while participating in athletics supervised by a member of the coaching staff, the grant or scholarship will be honored, and the medical expenses will be paid for by the athletic department. At the time of the execution of the agreement between the Taylors and Wake Forest University, some of the rules of the NCAA prohibited graduation or cancellation of institutional aid during the period of its award on the basis of a student athlete's contribution to a team's success, an injury that prevents the recipient from participating in athletics, or for any other athletic reason except the student athlete voluntarily rendering himself ineligible from competition, fraudulently misrepresents any information on his application or letter of intent, or engages in serious misconduct warranting him substantial disciplinary penalties. Any such graduation or cancellation of aid is permissible only if the disciplinary actions are taken on by the school or the scholarship award authorities, the student has had an opportunity for a hearing, or this action is based on institutional policy applicable to the general student body. When Greg Taylor accepted these terms, Wake Forest did not have a written grant-in aid policy. This policy was not put into place until January 1969, 2 years after Taylor had been enrolled. One of the written policy provisions was to the effect that financial aid could be terminated for the refusal to attend practice sessions or schedule workouts that are part of the athletic program, or to act in such a manner as to disrupt these sessions. Greg Taylor participated in the football program during the fall of 1967. At the end of his first semester, he had a 1.0 GPA. Wake Forest requires a 1.35 GPA after his freshman year. Because of Greg's grades, he notified the football coach in February of 1968 that he would not be participating in regular practice sessions during that spring. After the spring semester, he obtained a 1.9 GPA, but still decided not to participate in the football program that fall, and continued to refuse participation after that fall, even after obtaining a 2.4 GPA. On May 1st, 1969, after the new additions to the contract, Wake Forest notified Greg that a hearing would be held on May 14th before the Faculty Athletic Committee as to whether his scholarship should be terminated or not. Due to his failure to participate on the team, the scholarship committee terminated his scholarship. Greg was notified at the end of his sophomore year his scholarship would no longer be in effect, but Greg continued to attend Wake Forest for his junior and senior years. Because Greg no longer had the scholarship, he obtained a total of $5,500 in expenses through his junior and senior year. Greg Taylor sued Wake Forest for that amount, and his reason was that he acted reasonably and in good faith in refusing to participate in the football program because such participation interfered with his academic progress. George Taylor, who is Greg's father, stated that it was orally agreed upon between the Taylors and Wake Forest that in the event of any conflict between educational achievement and athletic involvement, participation in athletic activities could be limited or eliminated to an extent necessary to assure reasonable academic progress. Wake Forest University stated that Greg Taylor agreed to maintain eligibility for the intercollegiate athletics under both the conference and institutional rules. Both Greg and his father knew the scholarship was awarded for football and would be awarded for academic and athletic achievement. Greg Taylor did meet the academic requirements, but he did not meet the athletic requirements when he refused to participate. So since he was not complying with his contractual obligations, the court ruled that Wake Forest, in favor of Wake Forest because they fully complied with the contract and the agreement, and Greg Taylor and his father failed to do so. So what we've learned from this case was that it's very important to make sure that one, you have a contract at all times. Make sure it's in writing and all parties understand what's being said on the contract. It's important to make sure that the athletic director gives everyone a chance to ask questions and clarify up any confusion, and that make sure that every single party signs the contract and dates it. So if they do have to go back to it, they would have proof that they all understood it and signed it.